I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a radio announcer. I'm a high school football coach. And since I was old enough to stand on the side of a stream next to my dad, I've been an angler. I've fished with bait, lures, and flies. I've fished with spinning gear, fly rods, jigging poles, and tip-ups. I've stood on ice, waded rapids, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing, be it freshwater or salt, heavy flows, high seas, or cutting through a foot of ice, as much as I do, no matter what the quarry, no matter the tactics, no matter the chosen tackle. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman.
Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network. John Kovach back with you. We had last week off with Thanksgiving. They had a great football game here in our stead. Now we're back to talk some fishing. And Thanksgiving week, I got to get out again. I've gotten out a lot more this year, which has been kind of great for me. Trying to mix filming and fishing. Another great trip through David Schumacher, who's got Fly Fishing Adventures with David Schumacher Photography and Friends. We got up to a new spot. I had never fished in Massachusetts before and got to go up there with those guys and do some more late fall, early winter fishing. Now, it's unseasonably warm as we bring this to you. It was pretty chilly that day. It wasn't awful, but it was a little chilly, a little windy, little gray. The fishing was a little slow, but it ended up being a very interesting trip up, meeting at Deerfield Fly Shop, which is literally around the corner from Yankee Candle, right off 91, and then heading up to Fife Brook, where this is Michael Didana of Deerfield Fly Shop. Uses a switch rod here. A couple of switch rods came out. I had never tried it before. I did, and it was a lot of fun. Great little stretch there. Catch and release. Got to try the new school switch rod like Michael's using in this clip. David Schumacher was there also. I tried his older one. The only one who caught anything was Michael Didana of Deerfield Fly Shop. We didn't get down close enough to get a real good shot of him catching it, but did get him bringing it in. It was worth it for the experience. It's really beautiful country up there. It's a beautiful, secluded place to fish, good flows, really a lot of fun. David Schumacher there with us. Now, he was using an old school switch rod. I got to talk to him a little bit about that, try his rod, and for that I thank him and Michael for letting me try those switch rods. Never done it before, something I'm interested in. Let's take a look at David, and I talked to him a little bit about what attracts him to Fife Brook.
One of those days where for no reason the bite's going to turn on for about 10 minutes when everybody's ready to leave and then shut right down.
Yeah.
So what is it you like about this this stretch?
I think it's beautiful. I caught fish here the first time I've been here. And there's not a lot of people here.
And there was a space a little bit later on where we thought we might have hooked up, that Dave might have had one. Didn't. David came close, didn't get it. But we had a great day, and thank him for all his work putting these outings together, getting people out fishing. We were out at the Farmington with him and some Connecticut friends not long ago. Ron Murley with him. We got some footage from that. And we have part 2 of an interview we did with Tori Collins from Upcountry Sport Fishing that we're going to bring you as kind of our Art of the Angler segment where we're talking about flies. We're going to talk about the flies needed in periods like this. So we've got Ron fishing on the Farmington. queued up. Ron caught a few that beautiful sunny day that we were out there. He was fishing the fast water. Tristan Wilgan caught in the slack water using a streamer. It was really a great day. And then after fishing for a little bit and doing some filming, which really was just an awesome day out there, we spent some time with Tori Collins over at Upcountry talking about late fall, early winter fishing. This is part 2 of our interview with Tori. We're going to talk about the flies that you can use this time of year. We are talking fall and winter flies with Tori Collins at Upcountry Sport Fishing. Tori, what are we looking for as a go-to fly?
Okay, well, there's a few go-to flies. I touched upon in the other part of our interview, this river, we have actually pretty diverse selection of bugs in here. We got a wide range of hatches, mayflies, caddisflies, stoneflies, midges. I would say I do a lot of nymphing. That's actually my favorite way of fishing. 2 of your go-to nymphs that you never want to be without on this river would be a small pheasant tail. This is a number 18. This one happens to have a gold bead. You can use them with or without. I like them with a flashback. But a small pheasant tail, say an 18 or a 20, is almost never a bad choice. It imitates so many bugs. And another fly I would never want to be without on this river would be some sort of caddis larva. That one's a 14, 16s in shades of greens and olives. Tons of caddis in the river. That is a potential food source year-round. And I tend to rely on them, especially the larvae, especially like as we get into the winter, when there's not as many hatches. I fish them even more than normal. I probably catch more on olive than any other shade, but it's good to have them anywhere from a bright green to an olive green to like a drab olive color. Other nymphs that are very good, and this will be now, straight through the winter, would be egg flies. Yeah, we got a glow bug, we got an otter soft egg, we got a sucker spawn. You want to think colors like orange, pinks, yellows. And those are effective right now. There's trout are spawning, there's eggs in the river, and trout are just instinctively programmed to eat eggs. But even when they're done spawning, they'll keep eating these right through their winter until the hatches really get cranking in the spring. And then these will become less effective then. But I'll fish egg flies a lot here from the second half of October, really right through April. I do very well on egg flies here.
Now there's some, I don't call them purists, but that's kind of the word, that's kind of a euphemism for what I really want to say, who look down on egg flies. Yeah. Your feelings on that?
I don't have any issue. I mean, you're actually matching the hatch right now. I mean, they are seeing eggs and they will eat eggs. I mean, eggs are the most calorie-dense form of food a trout can consume. They can't get away like a minnow, or they can't swim away like some insects can, and they have the most calories per gram of any bug. So you're actually matching the hatch. I mean, if it bothers you, don't fish it. You know, same thing with San Juan worms. I think at moments those are effective here, especially when the water's high or dirty. Rainbows have a particular affinity for pink, and you could fish red or natural San Juan worms, and those have their moments here. And then they have the San Juan worms now tied out of the rubbery material called squirmy worms, and some people swear by those, just absolutely swear by them. Some other people say they can't catch a cold on them. A lot of it has to do with, you know, personal confidence in a fly. But, you know, as far as the purists, hey, even if you're fishing a dry fly, you're matching bait. You're matching, you know, a natural food source. So at the end of the day, we're all matching bait. Maybe you put a mayfly dry, you know, a dun above a fish egg, but it's all bait to the fish. It's all food. So I don't have an issue with any of that.
Speaking of dries, a lot of what you have out here, very, very small.
Yeah, most of what we're fishing right now is going to be small. We have the winter caddis. You're looking at a 20 to a 24. You got midges. You're looking at probably no bigger than a 20, probably down to a 28. You know, blue-winged olives. The size blue-winged olives we're going to have hatching from late October through, say, early to maybe mid-December. You're looking at probably no bigger than a 24 and as small as a 28. You'll probably see Isonychia. This will be one of the bigger bugs. These are 12s, 14s. You'll probably see these into maybe mid-November. And again, they may get smaller. You may see them as small as a 16. And there's not a ton of hatches to match, so the fly selection is a lot simpler. It comes down to presentation and fishing the correct water. If you like to fish streamers, most guys probably fish streamers that aren't super big here. These are mostly 6s and 8s. These would be fairly typical size streamers. Some various patterns. This is one Jack Smolla does. Variation on a woolly bugger, conehead marabou muddler. This is a Zuddler, which is a cross between a muddler and a zonker. In the fall, colors with yellow in them will have their moments. Brown trout get very aggressive at spawning time to the color yellow. I've read it's because the male's bellies color up yellow and it incites an aggression response. All I know is yellow can be a good color in the fall. You can almost never go wrong with olive if you're having trouble picking a color for streamer. But you always want to play around, you know. If you want to have a shot at a little bit bigger trout, you can go bigger on your streamers. There's a home invader in tan. That's a good color. This would imitate a sculpin type fly. It's got a sculpin helmet. You could bounce this on the bottom like a jig. Very effective way of fishing it. It rides hook up. A lot of people don't do this. So it's a presentation the trout don't see a lot of, and bigger trout are a little more apt to fall to a presentation like this. If you're fishing an unweighted fly like this that has a nice swimming action to it, you typically would want to put on a sink tip or a sinking leader or a sinking line of some sort, you know, and strip it in. And as the water gets colder, you would want to slow your presentation. And if you want to go for the biggest trout of all, are bigger articulated flies. This one happens to be a circus peanut. You know, it's probably 4.5 inches long. And some guys will fish bigger ones. If you throw big flies like that, you won't catch as many fish, but you do have a better shot of sticking, you know, that real wall hanger, you know, that 2 foot plus fish we all want to catch, but you will generally catch less.
So basically all variations of flies are in play, even though you can't see as much aquatic life as you might in a warmer time of year.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of guys stop fishing streamers after October or early November, but you can fish them. I've seen guys, I've watched friends of mine go in church pole, and most guys fishing church pole here in the winter, they'll either nymph the riffle at the head, or they'll fish dry flies in the flat water, which in the winter would typically be the winter caddis in the morning and maybe midges in the afternoon, or say November blue wing olives in the afternoon. I've watched friends of mine go in there with a big woolly bugger, just stripping it real slowly, a weighted woolly bugger on a floating line. I've watched them catch 20 fish in a few hours in the afternoon, you know, picking their way between the guys just because other people aren't doing it.
As I said to somebody earlier today, trout will be the judge of what they want.
Absolutely. If you let the trout tell you what they want, they will tell you if you listen to them.
Tori Collins, Upcountry Sport Fishing, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Want to thank Tori Collins at Upcountry Sport Fishing for taking time to talk about flies and tactics with us. We had a similar discussion then when we went up to Fife Brook up in Massachusetts. Here again, Michael Dodonna of the Deerfield Fly Shop. We're with Michael Dodonna of the Deerfield Fly Shop in South Deerfield, Massachusetts, right by Yankee Candle. We just fished the Fife Brook up here. What are some of the streams up here that attract a lot of fishermen?
Well, obviously you got the Deerfield River right here. This is the main river that a lot of people come to. Flows all the way from southern Vermont right down to the Connecticut River. So there's lots of area to fish on the Deerfield River. And there's lots of small feeder brooks, the Cold River, Clesson Brook, Avery Brook, Pelham Brook. So there's all kinds of feeder brooks on the way down that can hold populations of rainbow trout, some native brook trout will reproduce in those streams. So there's a lot of areas to fish.
This is a catch and release only area that we're in. Are there a number of those around?
There's not a whole lot. This section is catch and release from the Fife Brook Dam down to the Hoosick Tunnel, and then it opens up for a while, and then it starts again at Pelham Brook down to Route 2. And those are the only two catch and release areas on the Deerfield River.
Lots of different water here. You've got slack, you've got some really fast stuff, you've got adjustable water levels with the dam. Creates a diverse habitat here.
Yeah, there sure is. There's a lot of different techniques you can use here, from Euro nymphing techniques to streamer fishing with switch rods. There's great dry fly action during the dry fly seasons. A lot of nymph fishing, switch rods like I have here today. All the fish I caught were on the switch rod today, which impose a definite advantage, especially during high water. You don't have to pack your stuff up and head home during high water. You can move to the safeties of shore and do a nice minimal back cast, with a switch rod and get a lot of line out there and get into some fish.
I was going to say, did a lot more switch rodding than I expected here. I tried it for the first time. I definitely see the advantage to it in terms of distance and tight quarters.
Yes. Yeah, you don't need a lot of room for a back cast, doing the different styles of casts, spay casts. You can really get a lot of line out there. And with the setups, you can attach a multitude of tips to them to get your fly down into the strike zone.
What are some of the go-to flies this time of year? We're in late November on these Deerfield area fisheries.
Yeah, definitely woolly buggers work great, or any kind of olive streamer, in different colors too, brown, black, white streamers, articulated streamers. Pheasant tail nymphs always do good on this river. The San Juan worms and egg patterns will do good right through the winter. And midges like zebra midges, those are all good wintertime flies to have.
Now, we're coming up on the first anniversary of the Deerfield Fly Shop. That's right in the heart of South Deerfield. What's the address again?
8A Elm Street.
You've got some stuff planned that's in the works, so let us know when things are finalized for the first anniversary celebration.
I sure will.
And again, that's Deerfield Fly Shop. Literally a spay cast from Yankee Candle, if you're familiar with that. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us on Yankee Fisherman. Great day on the water.
Great day. Thank you, Jack.
Want to thank Michael Dodonna of Deerfield Fly Shop for sharing that information, those tips about Fife Brook up there. Great place to fish. Really excited about it. Want to do a lot more fishing in Massachusetts next year. Chances coming up, and we'll be promoting this a little bit. Michael's Deerfield Fly Shop is going to have its first anniversary coming up, probably late winter, maybe early spring. It's literally around the corner from Yankee Candle. So there's no reason you can't make the trip up there. It's a great little day trip. I did the whole trip in one day, really had a great time. Great time fishing there. Great time fishing to Farmington with David Schumacher Photography and the crew. Want to thank Michael and Tori Collins from Upcountry Sport Fishing for taking some time to share tactics with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about a chance coming up to use what you just learned. And then I'm going to get angry. And I want you to be angry too. On Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN network. The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking, at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday, right here on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network. John Kovach with you this Thursday. So we just talked to Michael Didana, that facilitated by David Schumacher of David Schumacher Photography, about fishing up in Massachusetts. Plus we talked to Tori Collins about tactics, some flies that you can use up on the Farmington. There's a chance to do that coming up next Saturday, the 12th. Mianus TU heading up there. It's an open trip. If you want to carpool up, you can meet at 9 a.m. at the Branchville train station in Ridgefield. Carpool up there. You can drive up on your own, be a free barbecue. The plan is to fish from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, December 12th, a midday break for a barbecue. It's open to everybody. It's a great chance to learn with a great group of guys. The only thing they ask, RSVP, so they can be sure they have enough food. Tony Hill is the contact on that, and you can get his email address at the Mianus Trout Unlimited website. And also visit our friend Steve Colton's page at currentseams.com. He does a lot with fly tying, a lot of good fishing reports focusing on the Farmington. He just did one that I saw this morning on winter safety. And he talks about such things as never trying to walk on an ice shelf with the running water under it. It's stuff that you really should read before you get out there. If you're going to try to go and you haven't been winter fishing before, go back to our show of a couple weeks ago. Watch Tori Collins' piece on how to dress for late fall, early winter. Watch the flies piece that we just did with Tori. And get out there and enjoy a day on the Farmington, because it is a lot of fun to get out in this weather, especially when it's as spring warm as it is right now, very unseasonable for the first week in December. Probably why they've been able to keep stocking, and this is where I'm going to get angry, because I got angry about this earlier this year, and now I get to be angry again, because the proposed budget cuts, because of course the deficit was not what we were told it was going into election day. We need to make more cuts. If you remember last time they had to make cuts, Kensington Hatchery was on the block. Cutting Kensington Hatchery would have eliminated the trout in the classroom program, salmon in schools, for a drop in the bucket of what they're going to save, where they refuse to find meaty cuts. They refuse to figure out a way to make the budget work, so they constantly target sportsmen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play political games, and we're going to put all of the state's hatcheries on the block. And then we'll come up with a plan, and you can see it coming. All right, we'll save 2, but cut Kensington. And then he'll get what he wants, because for some reason he wants that hatchery closed. I'm afraid of them closing all 3, because it's about the stupidest idea I've ever heard. I think closing Kensington is worthless. I think it is just beyond words to try. I'm so steamed I have trouble putting words to this, because they keep targeting anglers who pay for the privilege to fish in Connecticut waters. They target programs that teach kids conservation and ecology and science and all the things that we make a big to-do out of when we go to a school and bring all the cameras out to look at me. I support STEM. I support all, the environment. I support teaching math. Here's a program that does it. Let's make sure we eliminate it. Because that's what we target, people who try to make something of themselves. And it's old. And I want the hatcheries saved because it is a ill-advised idea at best, and it's simply a reason that putting the 3 on the table now is a way to get Kensington closed, and I'd love to know why that is so important to our governor. And I'm going to read some numbers, and this is from a fact sheet that was distributed by Farmington Valley TU. But these are some of the numbers, and this is, you could do your own math based on this and figure out how much this is going to add up. 718,206 catchable size trout, 438,600 brown trout fry, those are the immature ones, the juvenile, and 162,000 kokanee salmon fly, stocked in 2014 in more than 100 lakes and ponds and 200 rivers and streams. This is in Connecticut. In 2014, some $3 million in revenue, $3 million, collected for freshwater fishing licenses. Each year, the state collects $3 million in excise taxes from the Federal Sport Fish Restoration Fund. $20 million, and they say this is a conservative estimate, $20 million is spent on fishing trips in Connecticut. The cost to run the 3 hatcheries and employ the 17 staff members it takes to run the 3 facilities is $1.1 million. So we're going to eliminate all that revenue to save $1 million. This also from Farmington Valley TU. 2012, there was a directive, so they've been planning on this for some time, and it's another way to stick it to sportsmen. It was a budget directive, so the Inland Fisheries Department assessed privatizing trout stocking. And they assessed 3 options as alternatives to operating the state hatcheries. Option 1 was to purchase trout from private vendors, deliver them to a Connecticut facility, and then the DEEP would distribute them. That would cost $4.3 million. You could also purchase the trout from private vendors and have those vendors deliver them. That's $3.9 million. Or you could contract with a private grower to operate the hatcheries or lease state hatcheries to a private grower. They couldn't figure that number out. But what you're going to lose is what these clips from a trip down to Merwin Meadows to see the kids stocking with Mianis TU in the spring. This is what you're going to lose. This is the stuff you can't put a cost on, is these kids getting to experience a fish up close. These kids getting to put a fish in the river and watch it swim away. And there's some fun clips of that here. The amount of money that would be saved in closing any of these, let alone all 3, is, you can't justify it. There's a petition out there on change.org. 2,500 people, a little more than 2,500 people have signed it. Go right now and sign it and tell Governor Malloy we want the hatcheries kept open. And I've ranted so long that I've run out of time. So we're going to start to wrap up this edition of Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop. We are going to take a quick break before we wrap up. So we will be right back, and I'll compose myself. While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York. I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network. John Kovach with you. So, take a minute, go to change.org. The name of the petition is Stop Governor Malloy and Save Our State Fish Hatcheries. Sign it. 2,625 signatures as I speak to you on December 3rd. There are many more anglers than that. Take a minute and sign the petition. In fact, I think there were more people than that at Bass Pro Shops when they opened November 18th. We haven't been with you since then. We got some footage there. I tried to get there for the entire opening, and as somebody who's been in the Bridgeport area really for the better part of the past 32 years, I don't know that I've seen a crowd like that. It was backed up the exit ramp onto 95. You had the fire department with the big American flag there. We had crowds outside. I saw one very unofficial estimate that there were 12,000 people waiting outside. It's a nice store. It's a great store. Do not forget your small bait and tackle shops. They've got the information for you. They're open early. Don't forget the little guys if you go over to Bass Pro. It's a lot of fun. It's a great store. It's going to be a good thing for Bridgeport, and I'm excited to have them around. If you're watching the live version, you've got the monthly meeting of the Housatonic Fly Fishermen's Association. That is tonight, Thursday the 3rd, 7 o'clock, St. Paul's Episcopal Church, 65 North Main Street in Wallingford. Rick Huntley and Bruce Tubby, Wayne Gustafson are going to do a presentation on Grand Lake Stream, Maine for landlocked salmon. That sounds good. Nutmeg TU is having its holiday party, which is also going to be a spey casting demonstration. See how it all ties back to the two-handed casting we did in our first segment. Nutmeg TU party. That is Tuesday, December 15th at Port 5 in Bridgeport. We'll have more on that in the coming weeks. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Yankee Fisherman. Stay tuned. We've got HAN Network Arts and Leisure coming up at 2 o'clock. Kate Chaplinsky will be back tomorrow at 11 with your coffee break. And I'll be back with you next Thursday at 1. Till then, tight lines.